So I called Eric a long, long, long time ago and said, "Hey, it was when I was at the office a little bit more, and said, "Hey, we're in the same area, blah blah blah." Did the whole schmooze, and he said, "I need you to fax me a flyer." Like he wanted, and I was like, "Huh?"
If anybody listening does not know what a flyer is, we used to make those back in the day on a Xerox machine, and you would actually remember cutting out images and stuff to put
I
on
don't think they know what any of the things you just said are. Cutting.
Yep.
It's also interesting because the fuse on deals is a lot different than it is for the buyer or for the client, that for you guys, than it is for us. Like for us, nobody's in a hurry to get insurance, and in fact they don't want to get a quote either. Like they're very disinterested in what we have to talk about. And for you have the money, right? So it's like they need it yesterday. The house, somebody else is trying to buy the house, so it's always this hair's on fire thing.
You're right.
So it's
Yep.
Talk about dealing with that and how those two worlds collide.
Well, I always put a time frame. Like when I'm communicating with my borrowers, I always, ask them I tell them what is needed. And I always, learned this in sales a long time ago. I always say, can you have this to me? And I usually put 48 hours. Because the quicker you can get it to me, the quicker, right, I can get you through the gauntlet, et cetera, et cetera. But I never leave it open-ended. Like, can you get that insurance quote from your agent for me in 48 hours? Can you do that? And I love it when they say, well, agent, I got Geico. And they call this, and I'm like, well, if you need an agent, I can help you. Sometimes you go through Geico, we're dealing with this crap for 5 days because it's some call center in India.
Yeah. So and so you talk a little bit about the 8, 9 on a Friday is too many. What is a good lead flow for lenders? Like what, like on a monthly basis? Like what?
If you could get a couple a day, that's great. But realistically speaking, like the majority of my real estate agents that I've been dealing with for 10, 12, 15 years, they probably close 12 to 15 million a year, right? They're not at the low end, and they certainly at the high end. They're right there. They're medium producing agents. And that kind of is where my bread and butter is. That's where I get the majority of my referrals from. So out of that, I'll probably get 5 to 6 referrals per year from each one of those agents.
Nice.
Yeah.
What could you see what has an insurance agent done for you that has gone kind of above and beyond your expectations to be a part of, your world and your realtor's world and made you want to take them in to your clique?
Honestly, when it's made super easy for me to get the agent's information in front of them, and the more personable, the better. So flyers, PDFs, right? Things of that nature, rather than saying, hey, Johnny with, ABC Insurance is going to call you, right? Instead of that, if I can put on an email an attachment of Craig and, an advertisement, and he's got his picture on it, it becomes personable now, right? It becomes personable. And that's the best tool for me that's the best one for me.
So I called Eric a long, long, long time ago and said, "Hey, it was when I was at the office a little bit more, and said, "Hey, we're in the same area, blah blah blah." Did the whole schmooze, and he said, "I need you to fax me a flyer." Like he wanted, and I was like, "Huh?" and said, nobody else ever said that, and he just stuck out, and so. We've exchanged some stuff over the years, and it's pretty cool though, because I think that's his gatekeeper, or how he keeps people out of the house is just fax me a flyer and I'll take a look. That's his initial response. And then, some people, I bet most people do not fax a flyer over, and then that's it. Away they go. But we did fax a flyer over.
Yeah.
We had to make one because we didn't have a flyer, but
I was just going to say,
let's make a flyer. Hurry. We got to get it to Eric.
If anybody listening does not know what a flyer is, we used to make those back in the day on a Xerox machine, and you would actually remember cutting out images and stuff.
I don't think they know what any of the things you just said are. Cutting, Xerox, none of that.
What do I do with these?
So.
Hold up.